Welcome to the Viral Solutions vlog. So today we're going to kind of talk about this massive need for content for, specifically here we're talking to nonprofits and church leaders and directors. And we often hear from them about how do you produce all this content? How do you make it resonate with the audience and have them engage with it and read it and consume it and understand it, and it flows like a story, but yet satisfy the need for search engine optimization and drawing in traffic and all of that kind of thing? Well, we get it. And we run into these issues with leaders of these organizations because, like a lot of us, we all have to manage our time and our money real wisely. I mean, time is precious to you, especially right now. Sure, I wish we could all have more of it. But this article was created so that anyone who wants to save time, struggles with a little motivation, has some mental blocks when they're prepping a sermon, a speech, a blog, a landing page copy, anything like that, anything that requires the use of words, here's a method for you. A lot of what we do comes from 3 decades of experience in sales and marketing, coupled with what we've taken tidbits from people like Digital Marketer. And then Shannon, our head of content and copy at Viral Solutions, has her master's degree in psychology and is a StoryBrand certified guide. So, all of that experience, all that advanced education comes together to where you should be able to use this method to create any type of content for your website. Prepare a sermon, prepare teaching material, prepare a speech or a meeting, write a social media post, create great emails, and even talking to team members or coworkers about some in-depth topic. All right? So this method is a framework designed to help you be a better communicator and help the person who you are addressing and understanding the point that you're trying to make. So here's how this framework helps. It helps how the human mind organizes its thoughts and makes sense of everything that you're trying to relate to them with. It's as simple as that. It helps you organize all those thoughts. It helps the person listening to you organize theirs and to follow along. And a lot of the secret here has to do with the methodology, about staying focused on the one. Let me explain. When you focus on one need, one problem, and one solution to the problem, the listener or the reader can then imagine the precise path you're taking them on. It's been said that the greatest fear is the fear of the unknown. Okay? And the words you have to share need to be comforting and encouraging and life-giving. So let your reader or your listener sense that comfort immediately, right out the gate. The fear or mystery of the unknown can be scary, and simplicity is comforting. That's exactly what this framework does for you. It creates an environment that will compel them to take action because it gives them a plan to do so. In short, the principles or the secret of one is about creating content that's clear, it's simple, and they can follow along. So here's how to start creating this content following this formula. All right? Step 1, I want you to map out your message. Some of you might sit down and start creating content, and the thoughts just start flowing. And that's okay. Type away. But when you go back and read it, it appears that you journeyed down a few rabbit holes. Guilty. And we're going to try and eliminate those by giving this some structure on your rewrite. So the mapped out process is going to take some time to get comfortable with, but in short, very short while to gain that comfort. Just a few attempts at this and you'll be all right. And that's when it's going to start to become second nature. And so we're suggesting that laying this framework out right in front of you as you begin to write, separate tablet, whiteboard, however it is you work, that's the way to roll. So this one framework goes like this. List the one want or need of the person or the group of people you're trying to address. Just one. List the one problem that stands in the way of them getting the need or want that they have met. They, not you, them. List 1, 2, 3 at the most steps to getting the one solution that will help them overcome this problem. Then list the outcome if they receive all these steps, they enact on it, and they take these action steps. All right? Now, that can be more than one, but try to keep it simple. That's it. I mean, that in the nutshell is the framework. Easy, right? Oh, you're noticing this video lasts longer. Yeah, we're going to go drill down and explain everything. Because in concept, it sounds easy. In the map out, that's when you start putting this together and flowing. You want to ramble and go down rabbit holes. But you got to understand that everybody's multitasking in their head in their real world. And people read bullet points and highlights today, and they listen the same way. And they skim and they scan. And when something hits them, now they listen, now they pay attention, but maybe just to this piece. I mean, maybe 10% of you are going to watch this whole video. Same idea, right? So the hardest part for most people is narrowing down everything into this one. Because you might be saying to yourself, but man, I got multiple needs, multiple wants. It's all got to be addressed. There's multiple problems. That's all got to be addressed. Time out. I agree with you. That's okay. But to captivate the attention of the people you're addressing, step back. Get at this big 30,000-foot proverbial view and think about that one problem you're trying to help them overcome. Let's take the story of the Bible, for example. And as we read it, we find thousands of stories of heartbreaking decisions that humanity makes. And there's countless ways that God restores them. However, the big 30,000-foot view here is this. Bible in bullet points. God created humanity, good thing. Humanity rebelled against God, sin entered. Every human wants to find a remedy to their brokenness. Problems, brokenness. Humanity has tried to fix their brokenness. Solution is Jesus. Outcome is eternal life, salvation, freedom, restoration. Boom. Turn the Bible into one set of bullet points. Loaded full of stories, right? Now, keep in mind, this is a framework from which you build upon and you tailor to fit your style, emphasis, and unique message. But the mapping out process applies to any, any problem that any human being experiences and that you want to speak into, write about, talk about, create a sermon for. There you go. Now, there is a time-saving tip here with this point, and that's that put this framework in front of you. So as you prepare to write, you stay focused. Okay? So if you're like a legal tab type of person, great. Pin it on the wall, put it in front of you, however you work, side by side, keep it there. Now, step 2. Now you start adding the details. Now it's time to bring in your creativity and your preferences and your style. After you build this framework, start adding in your thoughts, your details, your solution, your outcome, your personal experience. And you get further into creating this process, ask yourself if what you're saying is somehow connecting back to the problem, their problem, not yours, theirs. If it's not, but it's still a great point, then jot it down, save it, and talk about it later. It's another piece. Let's say you're preparing for a conference, and this framework still applies even if there's multiple areas you're going to be addressing, but get into that one zone, don't go down the rabbit hole. Just take each area or subject and frame it out the same way. In the end, all these areas should still point back to one bigger point you're trying to make. Make sense? Now, here's a pro time-saving tip to point number 2. Instead of trying to fit everything into one message, jot down the ideas that don't quite fit, or they make you go down this rabbit hole, or they make you stray and entertain and insert jokes, and save it for a whole nother sermon, another speech, another piece of content. Part 2, follow-up. Okay? Build them that way. Believe me, you'll have less people sleeping. You'll like it. All right, now step 3. Time to start creating the content. Now, I know some of you are thinking, I'll do this when I have more time, but don't wait. You can't afford the I'll do it when my mindset is right environment. And if you really start to absorb and take in this process, you're going to actually save yourself time. You're actually going to be a better writer, more fluid, more flowing, making sense and resonating, and it's going to come to you better because you've got structure to it, which is what you have in the rest of your life. All right? So at least start using this framework in small communications like internal emails or announcements to your organization, and start working on those, all right, before you bite off the big conference speech or your major sermon. Just start using it. So you're going to notice 3 things right away. One is each time you use this framework, it'll get easier and quicker. Then you're going to notice that as you save time, you're going to start using this to prep for almost any form of communication. Then you're going to notice that you're starting to captivate more attention of your listener or your reader, getting more feedback, more attentive audience, more applause, if you stay to these steps. I know you've been searching for these, but it's been out there a long time. Now, a time-saving tip with this point is, again, don't wait till you have time. I mean, there's lots of free resources out there for people like yourself, and you can dive into this and find this in a lot of places, like I mentioned when we started, where we learned all of this. But you can do this, all right? The thing I want you to take away from this simplistic process that really takes a complicated issue and makes it better for your structure is that your messages need to resonate, hit home quickly, get to the point, draw people in, have this call to action, and what are they going to gain? Because that's when I come to listen to you, that's what I'm looking for. And this is about them, not necessarily you pushing yourself on them. We have a lot of free resources. We can help you with this. So check us out at viralsolutions.net and create your framework. Check out our Church Marketing SOS Facebook page. That's got a lot of good stuff on there. It's a private community group designed to support you amongst your peers and amongst people that have a little different role in the nonprofit or your church. Some pastors, some admin people, some writers. It's good stuff. And when you get into making this mode and get into this process, you're going to like it. And you're going to notice that your audience really feels your message. I'm Tom with Viral Solutions, viralsolutions.net or 888-816-1222. And I just want to thank you for listening. Did you possibly make it all the way through the video, or did you skip to this part? Either way, you got some structure to work on. Come back soon. We'll be here.